UFC bantamweight, Jack the Tank Shaw, who is preparing for his upcoming fight next month. How are things with you, Jack? Good to catch up.
Yes, Mike, very good, thank you. Obviously been a good training camp, long training camp, so coming to the tail end of it now, but I can't complain. I'm feeling good.
I've got to ask you about this because it's something that's a big change in your life. Where's the hair gone? What happened with the lovely blonde locks?
It's a long story with the hair. I shaved my hair first off before, because everyone was shaving their hair off in the lockdown, weren't they? But I shaved mine off even before that, ready to fight in London the first time round. And then obviously lockdown time when everyone started shaving their head. And I think everyone just assumed that it was a lockdown cut, but it wasn't. I actually did it before COVID was even a thing. And then everyone was shaving, and all of a sudden, because all the barbers were closed, it started to grow back. So I just grew it back. And then as soon as it got to a normal length again, I thought, fuck it, this is coming back off. It's getting on my nerves. So I just shaved it off again. So I'm enjoying life, mate. As a baldy, to be honest, it's less hassle, less maintenance. Do an interview or a picture, you haven't got to worry about sorting your hair out. Just get out of bed and you're good to go.
I don't know if you remember the last time we spoke, but I had longer hair at the time, and I can definitely agree. It's one less thing to worry about, and obviously in the cage, I always look at people like Clay Guida and think, how can you fight with long hair, really long hair? But yeah.
Yeah, it looks worse as well. Like sometimes you're in the cage, you got like a long fringe or a long motivator. Someone catches you with like half a shot, and because your hair's flying everywhere, it was like, God, that was a big shot. And then half the time, if you didn't have no hair, you wouldn't think nothing of it. So maybe unconsciously, it was a tactical decision to shave it off as well.
Yeah. I was going to ask, because obviously Brett's got shorter hair now. Is it something? Is it a rule in your gym, or is it just a style thing?
It's not. To be honest, we've gone like opposite directions, because when I started growing my hair back, Brett went full on Charles Brunson bald with a mustache, and then all of a sudden, then he starts growing his hair back, and I shaved mine off. But it is still quite short. I think I can pull him back to the dark side soon enough. As soon as we get about a month out from his fight, I'll just get in his ear and say, "Come on, let's go Charles Bronson again."
Well, let's talk about the fight upcoming. Obviously meant to be UFC London now, unfortunately not, but he'll be facing Zviad Nurmagomedov 4th of September. How do you view Nurmagomedov as an upcoming opponent?
Yeah, very good. Very tough test. He's a very high level guy. On most of so I know not the UFC rankings because they only do the top 15, but on most of the your Tapologies and your stuff like that, he's ranked slightly above me. And obviously coming from that area of the world, he's going to be good everywhere. You know, he's obviously a very good striker, but although we haven't seen much of his wrestling, his grappling in the UFC, I don't doubt that he's got a good ground game as well, being from Dagestan. So he's a very tough opponent, but it's a good chance for me to show the level I'm at, in my opinion. I feel like I'm a level above. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just feel like skill-wise, I'm cut out to fight these top dogs. And I think by beating someone like Zviad, then it'll obviously help everyone else see where I view myself and why I view myself as someone who can cause the top guys problems.
I spoke to Nathaniel Wood a couple of days ago, obviously, like another guy in your division, and I said this to him. I want to get your opinion on it. Probably bantamweight is one of them divisions where the ranking should carry on to 20 or 25, because the level is so high that if you'd done what you'd done a heavyweight, you'd already have probably a top 10 ranking next to your name. It's one of them divisions that should carry on ranking wise.
Yeah, 100%. Even probably higher than 25. Like I was sat there a few weeks ago watching the UFC, and there was, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but there was someone fighting. It might be Ricky Simone, perhaps. And I was thinking, how is he not ranked? Like the people he's fought and beat. And then I started thinking to myself, then I can name probably 10, 15 really high level guys that are not ranked. That you could argue should be ranked. And then you look at the guys even in the top 15, you could argue all of them. It's one of them divisions constantly changing. Like the dynamic of it is the top 15 is constantly changing. The guys just outside are constantly moving up and down. Like you look at sort of rank 15 to 10, there's people in and out of it all the time, and it's a good time to be a part of it. Obviously, you know, I didn't get in the UFC to have an easy road. I want to fight the best in the world. So if you're going to be in the UFC, why not be in the most stacked division, huh?
Does a division, it is probably the consensus most stacked division now. Is that something that excites you, that you've probably got to fight 2, 3, 4 more fights to get where you want to get to?
Yeah, without a doubt. And obviously, like, I'm at the stage in my career now where every single fight is going to be tough. Like, even you look at the guys maybe on these websites that are ranked behind me, there's no easy fights. Do you know what I mean? There's every single guy in the division is tough. Don't be wrong, there's obviously guys you match up with better stylistically, but that's not to say that every fight is a walk in the park. And it is a very sad division. But to be honest, the more we see like the young up and comers coming from the UFC, I think every division's going the same way. Obviously, heavyweight and light heavyweight maybe not so much, just because you, like you said, at people of that size, especially in America, they more like their basketball, their American football over here. You know, someone who's walking about 100 kilo tends to go and play rugby rather than jump in an MMA gym. But sort of from middleweight and below, it's all like every division that I'm noticing a trend, it all seems to be going the same way. And I think in 5 years' time, they're going to have to introduce a system, like you said, where you've got to rank like 1 to 30, because there's that many good guys. It's unfair for some of these guys not to have a number next to their name and not be in the top 15. But at the same time, the guys in the top 15 deserve to be there as well. So I think the way it's going at the minute, obviously, because MMA is a more well-known sport now than what it probably was 10 years ago. You've got more and more people from all over the world and all sizes that are more keen to get involved. You know, now MMA to kids who are 15, 16 is more of a sort of, people are like, right, well, I'd rather go and do MMA than go and play rugby or go and play football. And it's only a matter of time before the youngsters at 5 and 10 years of age start doing the same thing. So it's a good time to be a part of it, but I think obviously the level and the strength and depth in the divisions is only going to go up and up and up as the sport develops.
Well, I think we saw the strength and the depth of this division probably in your last fight, which was a hard fought victory. Let's be honest with Hunter Azure. I'd like to ask you this question twofold. First and foremost, opinions on your performance.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, it was a good performance. There was obviously things I can take from it that I need to improve on, but for the most part, I was like coming out of the cage for some reason. I didn't feel like I performed very well, but then obviously the coaches were like, you know, you did what you had to do, and watching it back, I felt like it was one of my strongest performances against a really good guy as well. Obviously being a wrestler with like his college wrestling pedigree, and I think he's got numerous titles, I've been told, over there. So to go and beat him at his own game a little bit was obviously, I can't complain at that. And it was nice to show a bit of defensive wrestling, nice to show I can dig in the pocket and fight on the feet when I need to, and obviously nice to show that, you know, just because you've got these wrestling accolades in America and I haven't, that doesn't mean I can't take you down.
Opinions on the decision. What did you make of the split?
The two judges had it right, didn't they? But the one, I don't know. Like, I'm not, you know, obviously there's always controversy in some cases with decisions in MMA, but just from what I've seen online, like after the fight and opinions of people and on art, I generally don't know, I haven't seen a tweet or a comment of anyone else other than that judge giving him 2 rounds. Like, yeah, round 2 was close, but I think apart from that judge, every single other comment or like tweet or someone I've spoke to have said I won the first and the third. I mean, I would even argue I won the second, but I mean, I can see why, if it was a coin toss, why they would give it to him. But I don't know. Vegas judging feel it was a bit of a nervous time when I heard them say, what, you know, when that one judge gave it to him, and I thought, they're gonna fucking do me dirty by that. But I heard the 30-27, and I thought, well, there's no way they could have scored in 3 rounds, because I just spent half of the round on his back in the third. So I thought it must be me. So dodgy decision by the one judge, but you know, thankfully it didn't sort of disrupt my momentum or anything by getting robbed.
When you're in the cage and you obviously hear it goes to split decision, it's such a high pressure scenario with so much adrenaline pumping through your brain. Cognitively, what's going on in your head when you hear that? Is it panic? Do you even understand what's going on? What is that feeling like?
I wouldn't say it's more of like anxiety in a way,
Yeah.
you know, like an anxious feeling. It's like, because obviously, although I didn't think at the time I performed great, I still knew I'd done enough to win. So then when you hear it, like you've got one each, and like all of a sudden then it's like it takes your breath and you're like, whoa, what's going on by here now? Thankfully, obviously it didn't go the other way, but it's not a nice feeling. It's the first time I've ever had it. You know, like every other fight I've had that's gone the decision in amateur and pro, I'd known that I was going to win, and but then to hear the one judge give it to him, and I thought, oh my God. I'm just sort of looking at my corner team like as if to say, did he got that right, or is he, you know? But you know, like I keep saying, thankfully the other two judges got it right.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
thankfully.
It's not my record, like.
That's what I wanted to ask you about as well. Is this card was obviously meant to be UFC London. How are you feeling about that? Presumably, there's a little bit of disappointment in there.
Yeah, of course, it's disappointment. I mean, like I've had three. Obviously, this will be my fourth fight now in the UFC, and three of those would have been. I assume they'll have a little bit of a crowd in the Apex, but obviously not. It's not a sold out arena, so three of those would have been behind closed doors, and people may have forgot a little bit. But obviously, coming up in Cage Warriors, everyone's sort of known me as the guy with a mental following. You know, how Paddy is in Liverpool, how Conor was in Dublin. I sort of had that on the Welsh scene and selling hundreds and thousands of tickets. When I was fighting on Cage Warriors, you know, they were selling out a 5,000 seater off my name. So that shows you the type of support I've gone with, and in England as well, you know, and there's guys in England and all over Britain that have followed me religiously for years, not just the Welsh guys. So it would have been nice to fight in London to show the UFC, look, like for them to sort of think this kid's obviously got a big pull over here in this country. It would have been nice to show that off and to have the Welsh atmosphere there as well. Obviously, I haven't fought in Wales since my last Cage Warriors fight, so it would have been nice to get a little bit of that own feeling when you're in the cage. So yeah, disappointing for my friends and family as well, who obviously have clucking and chomping at the bit to come and watch me fight in the UFC, and they haven't, the opportunity haven't come yet. That's the second London show now that I know about 150 people have booked booked hotels and trains and buses, and they haven't been able to go. So fingers crossed it's third time lucky, you know, when they try and rebook London again. But obviously it's business as usual. You know, the fight is still the same thing. We still got the same job to do. We just got to do it in a different country.
There's been 3 cards on our time this year. There was the card in January. There was the card you fought Hunter on, and then this one. And I had a little bit of a look, and I think you're the only Brit who's been on 2 of them 3 cards where our time frame it's suitable for us, if you like.
It's because I'm such a big draw. That's what it is. It's because I'm such a big draw, and it's gotta be nothing to do with Darren Till or nothing to do with Darren Till who meant the main event the last one in this one. It's all because of Jack Shaw.
Listen, mate, it probably is to a certain extent.
Statistics don't lie.
Well, how do you have any idea where your placement will be on the card and what time you'll be fighting? Because Vegas time is obviously 8 hours behind us.
Yeah. So last time, just to put it into perspective, I fought in like 9:30 in the morning. So I was at the venue from 6:30. So it was a bit of a mess, not a mess about, because we knew, like, it wasn't like they sprung it on us the day before, but it was like something that we had to sort of prepare for that was a little bit different to what we're used to. But to be honest, I've seen online, like, and on some of the sites that I'm on the main card, but obviously until we get their fight, we can see the official paperwork and like the official listing, and you don't really know. Fingers crossed I'm on the main card. Obviously, number one, it's great. It'll be my first main card in the UFC. It'd be great to be on there. It's prime time viewing, obviously. And also I get a little bit of a lie-in as well. I don't have to get up at 6:30. I can go over to the venue a little bit later. But to be honest, I don't mind where I fight on the card. The thing with the UFC, it runs a little bit differently to like your domestic shows, in the sense of when I was fighting on Cage Warriors, although I was main event, I would get it really because all my teammates would be fighting and they'd want to do all the medicals at the same time and that sort of stuff. Whereas with the UFC, you could be fighting like 3 PM or 10 in the night. They tell you when you're being picked up. They tell you when you're going to the arena. And obviously, I think it works out in about like a 2-hour time slot between obviously going to the arena and fighting and getting back to the hotel. So regardless of where you fight, you're only there for the same amount of time. And I prefer it like that, but obviously it'd just be nice to not have to set the alarm to get up. It'd be nice to just have a little chill out before we actually go over. Whereas last time it was like out of bed, food, bang, get on a bus, you're going over. So this time, hopefully if I'm on the main card, I can have a little bit of time to come round.
You were some way down then prelims on that card in April, but I spoke to the 2 guys who were the first fight of the night, Sasha Palatnikov and Impa Kasanganay, and their fight was 6 AM Las Vegas time.
My God, that's insane, isn't it? Like what time must they have had to get up because obviously they need to fuel up as well. Like I try and say to people, it's not like you can just roll out of bed and go have a fight. You weighed in the day before, so you're still completing the rehydration and the refueling process. So it's like they must have been up like, well, it wouldn't be no point in going to bed. I would have just gone straight through probably, because like we was the same. We got picked up at 6:30 to go to the venue. I think I fought at 9 or 9:30. But we was up at 5. Obviously, I had to get up at 5, get everything together, make sure I had a good meal in me. So there's a lot more to it. Obviously, it's good. These interviews are good because they give people a chance to see that stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you wouldn't necessarily, like in the UK, you think, oh, it's 6:00 in the afternoon, it's a nighttime fight. But obviously, in reality, it's first thing.
Yeah. Obviously, I wanted to mention this is I still call this card UFC London, because you only have to look at the names on it. You can see it's a British card. I know you do some stuff with BBC 5 Live and different bits, and I know you're a big fan of the sport. Give me one fight other than your own that you're excited for, anticipating a good showing.
Obviously the main event is the big one, isn't it? Till and Brunson. I'm looking forward to seeing Till back in it, to be honest. Because what was it? It's been like over a year now, isn't it, since he fought Whittaker. So it'd be nice to see him back in there, and because he's the front runner, really. Him and Leon are the two front runner, and Arnold Allen for the UK scene. So if those guys keep winning and keep looking good doing it, then it just means more opportunities for us guys. So it'd be nice to just see Till go in there and smash it, to be honest, clean him out in a round and bring a big show back to the UK early next year. Like Liverpool, like you keep saying about Anfield, let him fight in Anfield. I love the fight. Like I'm not a fan of football or anything, but I love a fight in a stadium. So let him come to Anfield and put me on the undercard or something, And also Paddy as well. I've known Paddy a while, obviously, through the Cage Warrior shows, and we got the same management, and I've been on his podcast and stuff, and I get on well with Paddy, and I know he's been chomping at the bit to get in the UFC now for a good few years, and COVID slowed everything down for him, but it'd be nice to see him in there and see how he does it at this level. I think he's capable of getting some big wins, but it'd just be nice to see him in there and seeing all that, because like fucking Twitter's gone mental. He's been in a war zone on Twitter for the last like 2 or 3 days. All I'm seeing on my feed is either retweeting, replying to someone, or whatever. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in there, along with a lot of other people from the UK, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. He hasn't been too happy about his Instagram being being deleted.
If he's complaining about Instagram, then he's arguing with people on Twitter, and I'm just thinking, pal, you're going to end up with a double ban by here now. Like, you're going to be gone off Insta and Twitter. But he should never change. Like, he is who he is. He's calm. I remember saying to him before, I was like, fucking, I don't know where you get the time from. Is you constantly arguing or bickering with someone on there? I was like, he's like, I just can't. He said, I remember him saying to me, if someone like tweets like an abuse at him or comments abuse, he said, I've got to get into him. Like he said, I can't just let it slide. I'm just like, he's a madman. So yeah, it'd be good to see him in there as well. Obviously,
I want to get your opinions on something. So Paddy texted me the other day. It was a message you got. I interviewed Paddy last week, and he'd reshared the photo of me and him, and he sent me a DM that he'd been sent on Instagram, and someone put, I didn't know you were the same size as Forrest Griffin. Do you think I look like Forrest Griffin, Jack?
I didn't, but now you've said it. I didn't at first. Maybe it's the haircut. Now you've said it, I can see the similarities. Just a bit of the beard and the shorter hair. But are you as big as Forrest Griffin in real life or no?
I'm the same size as Paddy. I'm about 5'8", 5'9".
No, I can see it. Yeah, I can see the resemblance a little bit, but I wouldn't have noticed, if I'm honest, unless you said. But when someone says, "Oh, you look like so and so," and then you start to see the similarities. So yeah, I've been interviewed by Forrest Griffin. That's what I'll tell all the boys now. I'll take a little screenshot by you now.
Something I wanted to mention as well is when we first spoke before the Azure fight, I asked you how many fights you feel you're away from a top 15 ranking, and you said the Azure fight and then maybe one more. Do you feel like this fight could get you a top 15 ranking, or certainly a fight against a top 15 opponent?
Yeah, I think because the ranking, the top 15 is so stacked, I don't think like a win year will put me into the rankings. But I think if I can get a win year, and it's all up in the air in terms of, because there's so many people in the division, a lot of it comes down to timing and availability and stuff like that. Yeah. But if I can get a good win, a finish or a dominant decision where people sort of, it takes people back a little bit, then I think I'll definitely put myself in a position where, I can, in with a shout of fighting those guys in the top 10, from rank sort of 15 to maybe 12, 11. It'd be great to put myself in that position. But again, the division's not short of big names outside of the rankings either. So I'd either want a ranking fight or someone, who's not ranked but who's fairly well known. So I'll just keep taking them one fight at a time. That's the ultimate short-term goal at the minute. But you know me, I mean, I'm quite easygoing. If they come to me with a fight, I can't say no anyway. So whether it's top 15 or whatever, I'll still sign the dotted line, I'm sure.
Of course. Well, I'll turn the conversation back to the fight at hand for one final question. I can't remember if you gave me a prediction last time round. I don't think you did, but I'm going to ask you for one nonetheless. What happens when you're locked in there with Zviad Nurmagomedov on the 4th of September?
It's tough to give a specific prediction because he's a very tricky style. You know what I mean? He's got these spinning attacks. Obviously, he's very durable. So it's hard for me to say, submission or knockout or whatever. But I predict a win and I predict an eye-opening win. Whether that means putting him away or whether that means just dominating him for 3 rounds. But no illusions. He's my toughest test to date, without a doubt. Big respect to him. I'm not saying what I'm saying in a disrespectful manner. I rate him very, very highly. But I just feeling really good at the minute. Feeling really fit, strong. My technique, my sharpness, everything has come together nicely for this camp. So I predict the dominant performance either way.
Superb. Well, I very much thank you for your time and giving me some time to catch up, and can't wait to see you back in action in little over 2 weeks.
Top man, thank you very much.
Before we finish, Jack, how can people find you on social media?
You can get me Jack Show MMA, Instagram and Twitter, Jack Tank Show on Facebook. I'm Jack Tank Show on YouTube. My YouTube's gone a bit quiet because I've been so busy with training. I'm also a Twitch streamer, and I'm a little bit of a Warzone geek. So if you wanna watch me attempt to play Warzone poorly, then follow me on Twitch, Jack Show MMA as well.
And before we finish, the floor is yours, and anything you want to say or sign off with.
Just big thank as always to my coaches, my teammates at Show MMA, all my sponsors for their support through Fight Camp and helping fund the camp and the medical costs and the travel. Just makes my life so much easier. So check them. I won't name them individually because I'll forget someone, but check them on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And to my family, my missus, my sister, my mother, my dog, everyone who's put up with my shit for the last 10 weeks as well. So that's all from me.
Brilliant, Jack. Thanks for your time today.
Top man, Mike. See you soon.